Hey guys, it's Caitlin, and today I'm going to be filming a video going over my Women's World Cup experience and the things we did, games we saw, and just my overall opinion on the entire trip and tournament. So I'm going to get started going into the video, and I'm going to start by telling you guys what I did every day. Any sense? So we decided to go back into the Parliament Hill area of Ottawa and basically just walked around for a few hours during the lunchtime area. And while we were walking around, we went back to the Ribfest area because that's basically where all the tourist shops and where a lot of the stuff was happening for the duration of our trip. So we went back down over there, and after we ate, I'm pretty sure it was after we ate, we went back towards where we had been seeing all the players, and we were able to catch the Swedish team walking down the street. And so they were basically going out to train for a little bit before their game that afternoon. So we basically kind of stood around along the path they had come down, and on their way back, I was able to get a lot of them to sign the book for me. So that was a really cool experience yet again, getting to meet the team. And then while we were standing there, about 5 minutes later, the German team kind of started walking out of their hotel, and so they were going to go training. But obviously at that point I already met a lot of the Germans, so it wasn't really on my agenda to meet more of them. And they also had a representative that was going around telling people, or not a German representative, but it was like a FIFA rep that was kind of going around telling people that the Germans didn't want to sign the autographs since it was a game day. But like I said, at that point, I already met a lot of them in the days before, so that wasn't really my main focus. So I was just kind of waving as they passed and stuff like that. And so that was a cool experience. And then that night, we went to the round of 16 game between Germany and Sweden. Germany did end up winning, as you guys probably know, but it was a really good game. The score wasn't too close, but Sweden did stay in the game the entire time and did end up getting a goal later in the game, and all the goals that were scored were pretty good goals, especially the Jennifer Marijan goal late in the game off the corner kick. That was a really nice goal, and once again, it was just great soccer. The atmosphere was really good. This was my ticket from the game. After the game, a lot of people were going down towards the tunnel, so I was like, might as well, and I was able to get a couple more autographs from the Swedish players. So that was pretty cool, and it was another great ending to a great game with some really good soccer, and that was it for that day. Tell a lot, and then we walked into kind of the Parliament area for a little bit and kind of walked around Byward Market, but we really didn't go into any buildings or take any tours or anything. We just kind of took an easy day, I guess you could say. But on the 22nd, we went into downtown again because our hotel was about a mile from Parliament Hill and everything, so we walked in and out of Parliament Hill a lot. So on the 22nd, we went back into Parliament Hill, and we actually had lunch at one of the Ribfest vendors. So we ate lunch and then went on kind of I would call it the north side of Parliament Hill, because I think it was the north, but I'm not 100% sure if it was the north or not. But we basically went on the other side of Parliament Hill than where we had been going previously. So we were basically spent the day hanging out by the Byward Market end of Parliament Hill. So we kind of hung out around there and ended up seeing the Chinese team leaving their hotel and getting ready for a team walk. So there were a couple teams there for friendlies, youth teams. So me and a couple of those people ended up getting a picture with the whole Chinese team, which I'll put at the end of the video. And so that was really cool to kind of see that and do that. And then shortly after the Chinese players walked away, the English players went out on their team walk. So I was able to get a picture with a couple of them, and again, they signed the book this book. Them and the Chinese players signed this book. So that was really cool. And that night was the Norway versus England game. England ended up winning, obviously. But it was another really close game, like the South Korea-Spain game. It was really close, and it was good soccer, and once again, like, England was down early and then ended up coming back to win. And so that was really cool to just get that good soccer. And that was it for the day. The 23rd was another kind of easy day that we took. We slept in a little bit, and then right next to our hotel was the Natural History Museum of Canada. So we went over there and we walked around for about 3 hours. We went through the different exhibits and just kind of looked around, you know, spent some time in the air conditioning because it was pretty hot while we were there. So we went to the Natural History Museum, and then around 4 o'clock, I think, we headed over towards Parliament Hill, and we took a tour inside the, I think it was the Parliament building. I'm not 100% sure, but we took a tour around there. Kind of just got to walk inside the building and check everything out. And then that was basically just a little tourist day that we took. And we went around and saw some different sites and, like, the insides of sites. The 9th day was really packed for us. We got up pretty early in the morning. Once again, we rented a car and we drove down to Toronto, which was a I think Toronto was a 4-hour drive. But anyway, we went south to Toronto, and then we actually ended up driving around the city, and we went to Niagara Falls, but the Canadian side, obviously. So we went to Niagara Falls, basically spent some time down there. We went on a, like, boat through the falls, which was a really cool experience. Took a lot of pictures, obviously, and then we had lunch down there, and kind of just walked around the shops that they had down on that end. And Niagara Falls was a really cool experience. It was really pretty in real life. And it was just really amazing just to see. Obviously, like, hearing a lot about Niagara Falls, it was really cool to see. So after we did that, we headed back towards Ottawa. And at this point, it was already around 3 o'clock when we left Niagara Falls. So we went back towards Toronto, and we actually, our goal originally was to get to the Hockey Hall of Fame, but we weren't going to make it back in time before it closed, so we weren't able to do that. But when we got to Toronto, we kind of just drove around and looked at some of the sites. We went to this, I think it was a castle or something like that, but it wasn't very big. We just kind of took pictures from outside because, once again, when we got there, it was closed. But we drove around for a little bit. We spent maybe an hour driving around Toronto, and then we started heading back towards Ottawa, and obviously we had dinner and stuff, and we didn't get back to Ottawa until around midnight, but it was a really packed day, and we had a lot of fun. We saw a lot of things, and it was just another really packed day, and it was really cool, actually, being able to have that off day to go down to Toronto and then see another pretty big city in Canada, and so that was really cool. The 8th time we'd been into that area, and we hung out towards the Byward Market end, and we ended up being really lucky and got to meet some of the U.S. players. So we were kind of walking around and ended up running into the U.S. players. It was actually funny. We got to meet all 4 that were in that corner. And then we also saw Kristen Press and Alex Morgan, but I wasn't able to get pictures or autographs with them because they were busy and had to head back to the hotel. So that was unfortunate, but again, it was really cool getting to see them. And that was another pretty easy day. We just kind of hung out on that end, went to lunch, and then walked back to the hotel.